I recently purchased the Onefinity X-50 Woodworker CNC machine, and this is how I set it up. I'll show you how I set up not only the machine, but also the wasteboard with T-track, the dust collection with the hose boom arm, and some wire management. So let's dive into it. Alright, so I'm going to start with this Y-rail on the right side here, and I've just kind of spaced this out about 1.25 inches. Really is whatever you need it to be. I just plan on drilling a hole later on to feed the cord through, and so I need that to come through where there's not a support underneath. So 1.25 inches for me, and then off the side it's approximately 5.5 inches. So get this front corner, this front right corner kind of where you want it, and then drive one screw in here. Alright, so we've got one screw in here, and that's gonna kind of act like a pivot point here. And now we've got this X rail on the Y rails here, and we're just going to lock this X rail in here with the bolts that they provide. So we got 4 bolts on each side, so we got 8 in total. And this is just a 5mm wrench. And once you got this first side kind of locked in place, then we'll move on over to this other side. You'll probably just have to adjust this Y rail so that it's flush with the X rail. Alright, and once that's flush on this side, then we'll just drive in these 4 bolts. And just so you guys are aware, I'm just using this impact driver to get them flush, and then I'll come back with a regular wrench and tighten them up. Alright, so there's our flush, and I'll just come back, like I said, and tighten this up. Alright, so we've got one screw in this front right corner of the Y-axis here, and then we've also attached the X-axis to the Y rails with 4 bolts on each side. So now it's time to square up this whole machine. So we're going to take this X-axis and we're going to push it all the way to the back, right? And you're going to want to probably hold on to this Y-axis right here because this is still loose, but we're going to push this all the way to the back. There's going to be some resistance, but just push it all the way there. Now I'm going to put one screw in this back right corner and one in the back left corner. Alright, so now we've got a bolt in each one of the back corners. Now we can pull this X rail all the way to the front, and that's going to square up this front left corner. So let's do that. And now we can fasten a screw in this front corner. Now we've got one screw in each of the 4 corners. Now we can just go back and put in all the rest of the screws. Alright, now I'm going to pull this forward so I can attach the Z-axis. Alright, so we're looking at the Z-axis, and we can see that there's 3 bolt patterns. So we got the 3 on the top here, and then the corresponding 3 on the bottom. For right now, I'm going to mount it on the middle pattern, and those will line up with the 4 bolts right here. So we're just going to mount it right here on the middle pattern, and go from there. Alright, so that package contained 4 of these bolts, and it's a size 3mm Allen wrench. So I'm going to go ahead and install these top 2, and then after that I'll probably have to raise this up a little bit to install the bottom 2. All right, now I got the Z-axis installed. All right, so in the box, it's gonna come standard with 2 sets of wires. So we got the X and the Z, and then we have the 2 Y rail wires right here. I went ahead and I picked up 2 sets of extensions because currently with just this setup, I would have to mount the controller box on this left-hand side, but I kind of want to keep this area free. So I went ahead and I mounted the controller box over on this side. So then I'll just have to run the wires that come off of this for the X and the Z. I'll have to punch a hole through here. And then carry them underneath the table over to this side. So that's why I went ahead and picked up these extension packs. So let me show you how to wire those. All right, so Onefinity makes this extremely easy. Everything's labeled right off the bat. So all the sides that are labeled with the M, so M1, M2, and we got M3 and M0, those are gonna go to the controller box, which I mounted over there. The other sides are going to go to the actual rails themselves. So what we do is just take this here, and I think the Y1 and the Y2 can switch. I guess we'll find out. But I'm gonna plug my, let's see, my Y1 over here on this side, and all it is just this little connection right here. You'll hear that click in. Just give it a little tug, make sure it's all the way in. Then we'll take this Y2 over on this side, same thing. Just plug it in like that. One thing you'll notice is that the Y1 is gonna be a little bit longer than the Y2. So that's why I mounted the Y2 cable on this side since it's so close to my controller box. All right, and then we have the Z and we have the X. So we'll take the Z cable right here, which we'll plug into this spot right here. You hear a little click, oh. All right, so that's in there. And then the X goes right down here. All right, so those are plugged in. And the only other thing really to plug it in on the machine is gonna be this little cable right here connecting your Z axis. And there we go. So that's all plugged in. All right, so for the Y rails, I was gonna run this wire through a hole in the top again, but I think I mounted it a little bit too close to the front edge here. So rather than unbolting this and re-squaring it and everything, I'm just gonna run this under here like that. And then I have some of these plastic clips that will kind of hug the wire like that. And then they got a hole for a screw just to attach them to the bottom. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so I've got this long Y cable kind of secured in these things. I kind of like them because it still lets the cable be a little bit loose, but still kind of keeps it in place at the same time. So, all right, so I've punched a hole through the tabletop. I've got the X and the Z cable coming down here, but they're not long enough on their own to reach across to the controller box. So, like I said, I've picked up a couple extension packs. Let me go ahead and hook those together. All right, it's as easy as that. Now I got 4 more feet of cable. It's important to realize that if you pick up a set of these extension cables, they are going to go between the controller box and the ends of the factory cables. All right, so these will not plug in to the rails of the machine. They're gonna plug into the controller and then to the factory cables. All right, so again, this is super easy. Just match up the corresponding cords with the input here. So I marked out with blue tape, which was the M3 because again, I added this extension. So we'll find the M3 here and plug it into there. All right, and then I know that this is M0, so it's gonna go down here. All right, and I'll grab my two Y rails. So let's see, I got M1. M1 right there, and then M2. All right, so I got the rails plugged in. Now I got a power cord right here. So I'll plug the power cord right into this location. Easy as that. Got all those cords plugged in. Let's go ahead and plug the rest of them in here. So we've got this cord, which is USB to USB-C. This is going to be for the touch capabilities of the touchscreen. So we'll take this end here, and I think you can just plug it into any one of these imports right here. All right, so that's in there. Next, another thing for the screen is this HDMI cable. So we'll plug that in here, down in this corner. All right, and I think that might be it for the cords that go into the control box. And here I'm just assembling the display arm bracket. A couple of screws is all it takes. Alright, so there's the display arm bracket. Now let's go ahead and install it over here on this rail. And this just mounts to one of the front Y-axes. So we'll just take this here and kind of line up these holes with these grooves here. And then we'll take one of these long bolts that they also provide. Just slide that in there. Actually, we'll do two to start with, just to kind of keep it in place. Alright, and then grab one of these nuts and put it on the back. Alright, so I've got a nut driver here that fits on there, and then an Allen wrench. This is a 4mm, and we'll just use these to tighten it up. And this mount is adjustable with these two thumb screws, so you can just loosen those up, twist this any way you want, kind of move it around, and then tighten it back up. Alright, so we've got a couple of the cables that go into this already plugged into the controller. So now let's just connect the two. So we got this USB-C, that's going to go in this touch location. Then we also have the HDMI, that's going to go right there. And then to power the screen, we have this 12 volt in. There we go. So at the time of making this video, when you purchase a Onefinity CNC machine, they will not come with a spindle/router, so you'll have to purchase that separately. They suggest picking up the Makita trim router that you see here, and then just installing it on the Z-axis. And here, I'm just tucking the trim router wire under this little plate. One thing to kind of make sure is when you tuck this wire in up here, you probably still can move it a little bit, but make sure that you have enough extra cord so that when this is in the down position, that you still have plenty of slack there. So just something to consider. So let's switch this machine on and see what happens. So make sure that this emergency stop is pulled out, and then hit the power button. That's going to power on. I'm not sure if the screen comes on right away. Otherwise, there's a power button over here. There we go. Looks like it's booting up. Alright, and then it's asking if I want to home the machine, and let's hit OK. So now I think the Z is going to go all the way up, and then it's going to go all the way to the left on the X, and then all the way forward on the Y. So it's kind of programming the extents and the limits of each axis as it moves across. I think once it touches on this side, there's kind of like an electrical current that tells it to stop, and then it knows it's at its limit. Now it's going to move forward. All right, cool. It looks like it's all homed. And I just picked up a wireless controller off of Amazon. This is by Logitech, so pretty decent company. I originally picked up a wired controller just because I thought I'd save, like $10, but looking at the amount of wires coming off here and just the limitations of a wire, I had decided to just go with a wireless one, and it should be good to go. So let's plug this in. So when you buy a CNC machine, I think the very first accessory that you should pick up is some sort of dust collection. And what I'm assembling here is just a hose boom arm. This is going to kind of control where the hose from the dust collection goes as the machine moves around. I'll leave a link to this one down below. So it looks like I'll have to move this shelf out of the way. Not a big deal. But that will just allow this hose boom arm to swing wherever it needs to. I'm really happy with this setup from Rowdy Roman. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll leave a link down below. It's on Etsy. You can pick one of these up, and extremely fast shipping too, so go check that out. And these are just a couple extra support brackets for the dust collection hose. I picked these up off of Etsy as well, and I'll leave a link for these down below. And now it's time to add the dust hose. So I picked up this flexible dust hose off of Amazon, link down below, and just ran it through the different brackets and then over the hose boom. To mark out the extents of the cut surface, I chucked up a really small bit and then lowered it until it was almost hitting the surface, and then I used a pencil to kind of mark out that corner. I did this for all 4 corners, and then I had my extents. Alright, so I've got my 4 corners marked out. That's the extents of the cutting area. Now I'm going to install some T-track along the outside and then a couple in the middle. I'm going to use this self-centering drill bit. So it's just spring-loaded here. It's going to self-center in these pre-drilled holes in the T-track. And yeah, I'm going to use some number 8 by 3/4 screws. Then I picked up some 3/4 inch MDF and cut it to size so it would fit between the T-tracks. I used a countersink bit to pre-drill a hole, and then I used 1¼ inch screws to secure the wasteboard down to the tabletop. Alright, so I think this is the moment of truth. I've got my dust collection, I've got the hose ran, coming down here. I just picked up the shop vac from a guy on Marketplace. So that's gonna suffice for right now. Until I get a little bit more serious, I'm just gonna use the shop vac and then upgrade down the road. Probably shorten up this hose in a little bit, but I'm just too excited to try this out. So that's all good. Got everything hooked up there. Wasteboard is installed, and now it's just time to flatten it. So I think instead of programming something on here, I think I'm just going to use the joystick and just jog it back and forth and flatten it manually. So let's go ahead and do that. Now you can probably see the faint lines in the wasteboard, and I was a little bit nervous at first, but then I felt the surface and it was completely flat. There wasn't any variation in it. Maybe MDF is kind of like grass in that way. You mow it one way and it's a different hue of green than if you were to mow it the other way. But either way, if you find that you have ridges in your wasteboard, that means that your Z-axis isn't completely plumb to the wasteboard, and you'll have to make some adjustments. There are plenty of videos out there to make those adjustments, and maybe I'll make a separate video in the future, but that's the short answer to it. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Now I realize that this video is probably about 25 minutes long, but this machine is extremely easy to set up. And if I wasn't filming like every single step of this at a couple different angles, I bet I could have set this whole thing up with accessories in probably about an hour, for sure under 2 hours. But if you just have the essentials like the machine itself and maybe dust collection, man, you could knock this out in honestly like a half hour, not even kidding. And if you're at all interested in the table that I built for the Onefinity, I made a separate video for that, and I'll link it up here. There's a few more things that I want to add to this in the future. One being that I do want to enclose this to kind of sound dampen it a little bit, and then eventually build out this bottom area. But that's for a later date. Right now, I'm just too excited to start carving stuff. If you guys enjoyed this video, it'd be awesome if you could hit that like button down below. That just tells YouTube that this was a decent video and that maybe it should pass it on to some other people to watch. And while you're down there, consider hitting that subscribe button as well, only if I've earned it. That way you're notified every time I release a new video. I appreciate you all watching, and until next time.